It should be coming up. I don't know if they have to move over to another channel, but like I don't know
They have to move
why.
over to. I think the stream will go live, so we'll have two different things up for it.
I don't know why this.
There's a 25-minute video of the first.
We're back. It says right here we're back. All right, we're back.
Everyone, join on in.
We went too fast.
I'll copy the
We'll give it a
details
second.
from the other
Everyone
one
come
in.
on over.
So yeah, that 100% was the restreaming server. It looks like.
100%.
We're back. We refreshed it. There we go. I also added that back in. Thank you. There we go.
Welcome back.
We were talking about Sonic, and I guess that good segue there with everything exploding. All right. What do you want to hit us with a Discord question?
I didn't give my take.
Oh
on
yeah,
Sonic.
Jordan. That's right, Jordan.
That's what everyone was yelling at me for.
Jordan, hit us with it.
So let me just tell you about Sonic Frontier.
Oh gosh.
That's it then.
The hard mute.
You know, at the end, there's no Chow Garden, so really it's a 1 out of 10.
Thank you. Also, the Switch version is pretty rough, so I would rethink that one. Unless, as Sean said, you have no other place to play it. Technically, it is functional. It does not crash on you, but it also looks pretty poor.
It's rough, yeah.
It runs at 30. Like once you start this game up on any platform that you have access to the
Not Steam Deck.
Move it to performance mode immediately. You got to get this on the. Oh my gosh! I just realized something, Sean.
What?
No, you played it on PC. Never mind. Okay, I was about to say you're only playing this on Steam Deck.
No, on Steam Deck, it's not optimized whatsoever. I don't know if they fixed it since post-launch, but pre-launch, you had to do Proton Experimental just to get it to run, and then when it did run, it had like a lot of issues. I had to turn everything down to low and 30 frames on Steam Deck.
Okay, got it. Well, it's definitely it ran fine on the PS5 for the most part. There were some frame drops here and there, but ran at a nice 60 for the most part. So move it to performance. Don't sit on the fidelity 30 frames per second nonsense stuff. This is a game that needs 60. Okay, good stuff. Let's Evan, you want to hit us with the Discord question?
I guess, I mean, we kind of talked about it, but in the line of Sonic, there's only one thing that has ruined Sonic games for me: Chaos Emerald stages and mini games that have just been insufferable every time they've played them. Those are fine here. You guys are basically saying that most of those, not all, but maybe most, feel better in this game.
They have some weird mini games.
There's some stupid mini games.
There was one I did where they were like, "Can you pick the weeds?" I'm like, what are they talking about? You gotta do this trail thing around all of them. Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is dumb. So I don't know what that's about. Those are very random. But otherwise, those take maybe a minute or two to do. So
yeah. I think most of them are good. Some of the puzzles are weird, like the weird laser one. If you know the weird one where you bounce the lasers, I totally did not understand that for like the first 5 minutes. I was like, I don't get what I'm supposed to do.
I do want to point out though, in Sonic Frontiers, early on in that first world, they definitely have the opening 4 or 5 minutes from Sonic Adventure 2, where you're going like that initial run of like a minute long. So that is in there. Right away. I don't think they had the music though, unfortunately, but that there were some definite callbacks that longtime Sonic fans will understand. Okay, let's go over to we might as well do the other game, God of War Ragnarok. Ragnarok is out. MVG hasn't played this one either. I don't know what he's doing over there. This is a game that MVG has to get. You like God of War 2018, didn't you, MVG?
I love it. I love it.
Dude.
Knight's getting it for me, so I'm gonna wait on him.
This is okay. This is from Michael. Says shout out to the cast and also Discord homies. Shout out to Michael. This game, God of War Ragnarok. I am 11 and some change, and a little over 11 hours in.
Around the same part. I'm 12 in.
Yes.
Apparently my connection's down again. John, do you want to just take over?
Let's go.
Wait, we're back. I think
we're back. Oh man,
it's fluctuating. So just I guess be ready, John.
Man. We're back.
God of War Ragnarok. So far, I mean, I got to finish the game. Obviously, is really good. This is like the top tier kind of game. I mean, this game is ridiculous.
You hope so.
I mean, it like everything about God of War 2018 so far is just better in this game. Like you can throw that game in the trash now.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, what?
No, it's just a better version of that game now. They've built on top of it as we expect for a sequel, and people are saying, all those like DLC. Well, I mean, it's a direct sequel, and the combat is better.
I'm
the
not gonna lie.
Variety
like
is better.
It felt like that for the first few hours of the game. When
the environments
very
are more
familiar
interesting.
settings. Yeah.
Okay, can we talk about it for a second? Because I feel like when people say that, like it feels like DLC. Have we just been so spoiled with DLC coming out? You know what I mean?
Probably.
Versus games being so, at one point games were complete, right? DLC wasn't a thing. So you got what you got, and then a sequel could come out, and it could be pretty much the same, and people would accept it as a sequel because it's more of what you love.
I think it's more so people don't know how to differentiate between a sequel and a reboot anymore. Because I guess maybe part of it is due to the fact that so many popular franchises have been essentially rebooted. I mean, even when you look at God of War, God of War 2018 was a reboot of the God of War series. So I don't know what the fuck people want from a direct sequel. I just think people are just
Do you want a
reboot
of a reboot?
Right? Like it makes no sense to me. I'm only like 7 hours into the game.
Okay. All right.
I've done 50 hours. It took 30 hours for my first playthrough, and then I'm 20 hours into my second playthrough. I think a lot of the DLC accusations are just because the trailers had to only show that first 5 hours. Like Jordan said, the first 5 hours is basically DLC. They have to do this like melding where they say like, okay, you haven't seen these characters for a couple of years. Here's what they can do. Here's how strong they are. Here's what they're up to. And then after that, it just literally multiplies the awesomeness up and up and up.
I don't want to talk about anything beyond the first, I'm gonna say 2 hours, but because it starts getting to a point where gameplay changes, different things happen that it's like, this is something you want to experience the first time. But like right in the beginning, it's in the first 45 minutes to bring Thor in and stuff, so he's part of the game pretty quick, which is good, because I was like, is he gonna be like one of the last things you see? No, they introduce him into this.
He was part of the teaser, you know what I mean?
So you've already seen him in the game, technically in the trailers and stuff, so they bring him in, they introduce him in the story, and you get moving. So it's they do a good job with that. They do some fourth wall breaking right away, and then from there the side quests are good, man. They do that.
Talk about the side quests.
I kind of want to, but we can't because it's like
this isn't a spoiler. This isn't a spoiler. Click. This is
no spoiler. I got pee, so it doesn't even matter. I'm gonna go either way.
No, you pee on yourself.
Whoa!
Leave the show.
This game has a way of trying to make you feel bad for not looking into any side quests.
Yeah, they do.
The first one it introduced you to, it's like, I mean, you could go do that, but it'd be really cool if you go and do this. And they say that 3 times within 5 minutes to make sure you do that. And then later parts in the game is like the story's picking up, okay, I want to go do this, and some characters like, you want to do something? We got time for. I'm like, how many times is it going to try and keep pushing me to divert away? I get it. The side missions are really good. But at the same time, it's like, I'm on a story right here. I want to get to the next part of the story. There's a lot going on with the Trace here I need to know about. And you're going to help me. I need to help you take down some towers. Okay, that's fine.
I don't like that the kid talks so fucking much. Like, shut up.
He's the best part of the game. He's the best part of this game.
Atreus is genuinely... Well, and I like the kid.
It's not even like a normal relationship, though. Like, how many times have you been with your dad and you're like, Father, what about this father? Father, what about this? It's like, bro, we're on a boat. Shut the fuck up.
Is your dad a god? Huh? Maybe
Sean will never be a father, by the way.
True.
No, just like shut up. Sometimes kids, sometimes kids are meant to be seen, not heard.
He was in his questions phase.
Nick Cannon over here.
Well, it's also, I do think he's having to do the single parent thing now. I don't know. I like it a lot. Obviously, my favorite parts of the game are Sindri, Brock, and Atreus. I think Kratos, in a way, it almost feels like Mad Max Fury Road, where Mad Max ends up becoming like this vehicle for all these other great characters.
Because Atreus, obviously growing up in the game and all of this, becomes more independent, and it's, you can kind of see him getting older and more curious and trying to solve things on his own. So it's, I like the relationship between Atreus and Kratos in the first game. I think it's better in this game. So it's the story, great so far. The combat is definitely better as well. You're chaining together combos all over the place. There's interesting things you can do with the environment, with the different enemies, and the variety of the enemies is significantly better. Although they have these little small lizards that no one likes. I don't know why they decided to put them everywhere it's just stupid. You get away from them eventually, but I mean, I just switched to the blades and start throwing them everywhere. But
how's the verticality in this one? Can you jump around and
a little bit more? Tiny bit.
There's predetermined areas that you can jump on.
There's the jump button thing still comes up with this game. They decided to go the Ocarina of Time route with it, which is weird. I don't think anyone liked Ocarina of Time. That's definitely not the best rated game ever on Metacritic.
Well, John, things tend to change after 20 plus years in games.
The N64 version, that is.
Does it? Let me check. Nope, it's still at the top of Metacritic. Guess
the N64 version.
The N64 version. It's still up there.
Yep.
It's the bet. It's the people didn't mind that no jump button there. All of a sudden, it's a problem. And you could jump in Link's Awakening. They decided to take that feather away for Ocarina of Time. Now God of War is very good. Jordan, what are your thoughts on it?
I say my favorite part of the game so far is the story. Hands down. It's like the combat, everything about this game feels like they took the last game and just made it better. Made it like it tweaked a few things. They added a lot to this game for the combat. There's a lot of new stuff that happens throughout the game so far, at least at the halfway point that I feel I'm around. And it's genuinely great, but the writing, the dialogue, and how they there's no cuts in this game, so it just flows between sections. I feel like it's been paced pretty well so far. And that's just what I'm a fan of. I think this is really good storytelling. The combat and everything else is just, a bonus in this game that it still feels fun play. Without spoiling anything, there's a lot that happens in this game that is maybe you aren't expecting, maybe you are. And it feels good to play. I've had a lot of fun playing it so far. And I don't have many, if any, complaints at this point. So I'm just enjoying it.
One complaint I have is the menu system for your weapons. I don't know
fair.
what is going on here. I don't know who passed this through QA. It's weird looking.
You know what? The menu system in general is not user friendly. It doesn't kind of section things off right for upgrades and your power ups. I don't know. That's probably the weakest point of the game is the menu system. So
yeah, I'm not sure what was going. When I turned on, I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" Somehow it's more confusing than the 2018s. That one was a little iffy too, but they just decided to, hey, let's just confuse them. We'll see what happens.
We just got to this weird problem with video games where they always just try to over stylize all these menu systems, and I just make it simple. Make it simple. Tell me what this is. I click it. It does this. It doesn't have to be, okay, here's the lore, but to go into this, you have to tweak 3 things, but it's all placed out of order. If you want to get to this, you have to go through 3 different menus to get to it. It's a little too much. That's probably the one negative.
Visually, it's very good looking, as expected. It's a game from the PS4 generation that started development on the PS4 and they moved to the PS5. But they have this thing, what feels like maxed out on the PS5. So it looks very, very good. Everything's sharp visually. So even on like the performance mode, the frame rate's solid and it still looks good enough. So I have no idea why you wouldn't just put this on the performance mode. I think the resolution difference is like 1800p to 4K. So it's not even a huge thing. And you wouldn't even notice the difference, to be honest, when you're playing it, because you're fighting everything and swinging all around all over the place. So I recommend taking advantage of the higher frame rate on the PS5.
Wait, are you saying the menu's confusing?
When you go and you do your shop, you're upgrading all this. It's very weird the way they have it set up.
Is it more confusing than Death Stranding? Because I feel like as much as I love Death Stranding, the menu is confusing.
No, Death Stranding is weird too.
And I wouldn't say it's confusing as it's just not
overwhelming.
There's a lot going on, and a lot of it is, I don't know, there's just too much.
Just be like me and ignore most of the things, and then you defeat the game, like doing the bare necessity, and then you realize you missed all the things to make your life easier. That's what I do.
Apparently, the game runs pretty well on the PS4 as well. I haven't tried it there, but people online were saying that Digital Foundry did a whole piece on it. So it's interesting. They made it work pretty much across the board. It's also beat out God of War 2018 sales in the UK so far in Europe. So I think it's going to be a big seller, which, by the way, that one crossed 23 million copies apparently. So that huge seller for Sony over there. So I think you're really going to like this game, Click, when you get to it. And the thing I've noticed about it is it moves pretty well. Like it is on to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing.
I've heard some people say that they didn't like the pacing. I've heard some people say that the pacing is fine.
One part of bit of button mashing though.
What's that?
Button mashing stuff.
In a God of War game?
Now play on the harder difficulty, and you have to use different elemental types. I'm sorry, I missed something.
No, I'm talking about like you have to draw when you get the tall guy, and you got to keep pressing O.
Are you talking quick time events? Quick time events?
Yeah. Where you're mashing a button.
You still have this? Yeah.
That was in 2018, right?
Yeah.
Especially with those fights, like when you're just like destroying Balder's face and he doesn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't feel anything. There is a lot of puzzles.
Square.
I've seen some people complaining about, because some of the puzzles are multi-step, so you will have like a battle that takes you like 2 minutes, and then you'll have a puzzle that takes you 5 minutes. And I have seen people saying like, okay, there's a little too heavy on the puzzles in certain sections, but
the puzzles
I like them.
Favorite part of the God of War games, just in general, but this game has, I'd say the puzzles are better here than the last game. I didn't like a lot of the puzzles in 2018.
I think for me, the puzzles didn't bother me as much, but also I think it's because they put up dialogue throughout the game. You know what I mean? Same with like the canoe scenes in 2018. You know, it's like, oh, obviously this is loading or blah, 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 whatever people want to get upset about. But I don't know. I feel like it was really good, like lore building and story, and they had the dialogue. So I was more distracted on what they were saying and just passively doing the runes or whatever. So
but I'm here to kill things, not do puzzles, not think. I just want to kill.
There's still some moments in the game where you have to stop and go, is that here because it has to run on the PS4 as well? People are talking about you still have to go through those little passageways in the game
when you're in the boat.
But some developers commented on that and said, sometimes we put those in there to kind of siphon you through at certain points. Yeah, so you don't try to go backwards by accident. I'm like, I guess. But they still have those moments where you're kind of walking slower, and I'm like, this feels like a PS4 thing.
If you brought that up to the majority of players who don't know much about game design, like for example, I remember Final Fantasy VII remake or whatever. You know, you guys were talking about like, oh, the scenes, you know, where you're walking and squeezing in between, you know, the rocks with Barrett and them. I remember like, I think it was my sister and my brother-in-law. They're like, I love those scenes, like where you're just like walking and talking and it feels like suspenseful. And they're like, I like the fact that they do that. And I mentioned something about, you know, specs and loading. They're like, oh, I never would have thought that. Like a lot of people, they don't think about game design like that. You know, to them, it's like part of the immersion. So I think when you're able to kind of like lead them in and out, most of the casual base is not gonna, you know, get upset about it because they haven't really heard about, you know, well, that's why the way
it's a hidden load screen. You're supposed to hate that.
You point that out to them, then they go, oh, and then they see it all the time. Yeah,
exactly.
Like with Jedi Fallen Order, you always go through these little corridor duct things with the wires.
The first one that was kind of mainstream was Mass Effect 1 on those elevator rides.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't they like make it? What was it? Where people were messing with the solid state drive or something, and it made it where the elevator rides would be shorter. Like, we got to talk about. Okay, we're here.
Yeah.
Well, they do that in the collection too.
Yeah.
Right? They make them optional.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's God of War is a good game. I recommend people check it out. I think it's worth picking up and playing through. I mean, you got to play the first. They have a God of War recap when you turn it on. It's like, click this and we'll tell you what happened.
Ask, is there a recap?
Yeah,
there is.
It's very short.
It tells you the basic story and all of this. I mean, you don't get a lot of the sense of the impact of the story, I'll say, if you don't play through it.
Well, yeah, you have to be able to play it. It's just like people be like, oh, I'll watch like someone else's playthrough. It's like even that's good, but you still need to like play it yourself. You need to get invested.
Yeah, I fully recommend God of War. I still need to finish it. I'm halfway through it, I think, right now, so still got a little ways to go. I will have it finished this week, and then we'll see where we are then. So exciting stuff.
I love it. I do want to say quickly, I'm giving away the Super Ultimate Collector's Edition of God of War called the Jotnar. Go over to my Twitter account. Yeah, it's what that hammer that Jordan has there. Very cool. I ordered one specifically just to give away. It's sealed, but I have it here. So go enter it. It's a Twitter giveaway. Click the link, and then whoever wins, I'll mail it to you.
Does that include cast members? I need to get on that.
If one of y'all wins, it's gonna look real rigged. If I'm like, congratulations, MVG.
Fine.
Yeah, I'll take 5 copies of Quake signed, please.
I'm gonna call it the Jotnar edition now.
Done.
Jotnar. I don't know.
Jotnar.
Jotnar. Got my Texas accent. Oh, here comes Thor and his Jotnar.
We have a Discord question over there, Evan.
What's something different you'd like to see in gaming in 2023?
Switch Pro.
Ooh, good games.
Switch Pro.
I personally, I just want to see some Xbox games. Damn it! I feel like Sony killed it this year. I want to see some Xbox games.
Okay. I mean, that'll technically be different. Some Xbox games release 2023. I want to see Sony actually drop some classic games on that PlayStation Plus Premium that are worth
That'd be nice.
anything.
I want to see
About
the end
that?
of. I want to see the end of console wars.
That'll never happen.
End of the world.
Oh, that's funny.
It was good money.
It's such a nice and
Choosing violence all around.
all right. That's fine. You have another one, Evan?
Would you rather have a prior Star Fox game port to the Switch or wait
Yes.
until the next Nintendo console for a brand new Star Fox game?
Both.
Oh,
Next.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
both.
think we both.
Like, you can only have one or the other in this question.
They didn't say
Come
that.
on. Yeah, I didn't say that.
There's an or, so yes, they did.
But
They didn't say
you can
and
only pick
or, they
one.
said or.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andor's a Star Wars.
Okay,
I'm
so
going with
like
or.
this is the thing. They're basically saying, would you rather have a guaranteed satisfaction of a remake coming back, right?
But what
or
if it's
would you rather
Command?
get your hopes up and then it be another Star Fox Zero?
I'd want a new game in that scenario.
You would the love for this franchise is worth the heartbreak.
Are you,
Potential heartbreak.
are
is
you
what you're
always new over remake MVG?
No, not always.
Okay.
Not
Do
always.
you think a
but,
Star
like,
Fox outsells Metroid Dread?
saying? Oh my
Easily.
god.
yes.
What kind of
Ooh,
bet
that's a good
would you,
question.
what
I don't
kind of
know.
bet would you
Yes.
like to place on that?
Well, they gotta
here's-
announce the Star Fox.
Here's what we
or-
do. We get they bring over Star Fox Adventures. That's not a Star Fox game. Bring that over, and then we get the new Star Fox game too. There you go. We'll do that.
No, Star Fox multi. But where's
I'd rather.
I want Grand P to be real, man. I want Grand P to be real. I'm
I'd
upset. That was a good
Never
lie.
was.
I would like.
That's
I'd
a
like
good
the new.
lie.
I'll take the new Star Fox game. Let's see what happens. Let me go
Yeah.
over here to Nintendo. We'll talk about this. There's a lot of next gen talk this week. A lot of talk about this. Just because their investors report.
Was there any talk this week?
There's a lot of videos being made, a lot of tweets being sent.
Wasn't
If
really a
Nate didn't
lot.
say anything, I don't believe it.
Sean made a video in the last 12 hours. It's all over the
Like I
place.
said, if Nate didn't make
Everywhere.
a video, I don't believe it.
Wow. Thanks.
This came out of the investors briefing where they were asked about their backwards compatibility and what their plans are kind of for next gen. They were at least asking them how you're going to make this all work going away from, I mean, what's a pretty large install base now? 114 million or so Switch systems. They're going to probably roll to 120 by the end of this year and become the third best selling system of all time, passing up the Game Boy, which was on sale for how many years? How long was the Game Boy around for? I think it was around for like 12 years or something crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was forever.
Yep.
And it didn't even get really, really popular until Pokemon came out. That was like almost a decade after it released or something. So
Oh my god, yeah, I never thought about that.
yeah, it was around for a long time. But there were a bunch of people who answered questions. We had Miyamoto answer about this. We had let me make sure I have the right. It's Shiota answer about it. And essentially what they said in the Nintendo Switch generation, it feels like we have gotten closer to our consumers via Nintendo account. They can integrate a hardware software business that captures the spirit of Nintendo will continue to be central to many activities that spring from the strategy described in today's briefing. Most important thing with our dedicated video game platform is to deliver a unique gaming experience. In our development of both hardware and software going forward, we must consider ways to more easily connect our core video game business with the consumer experiences outside of our dedicated video game platform through Nintendo account, which makes sense considering they had a slide that showed their Nintendo account going into the future with whatever would be next. And then Miyamoto started talking and he answered the question in the sense that backwards compatibility is easier now, but we want to do something different essentially, or at least have unique features that can only be developed with the new platform in mind. Says recently, however, the development environment has increasingly become more standardized. Now we have an environment that allows players to enjoy our older video games on newer consoles more easily than ever before. However, Nintendo's strength is in creating new video game experiences. So when we release new hardware in the future, we would like to showcase unique video games that could not be created with pre-existing hardware. So the question quickly became, are we going to get some weird system that won't have backwards compatibility across the board? Or will they tackle backwards compatibility while also having a new concept potentially that would make it different from the Switch?
Be very weird. I mean, I know at one point they were saying they were going to have like universal fucking accounts from now on, but yeah, maybe if they don't have backwards compatibility, I mean, my disappointment will be immeasurable.
We all expect, I mean, I think most people expect backwards compatibility to in some capacity. It'd be weird if we spent all this time buying games and they were like, yeah, it doesn't work. That would be very strange.
I think you can't rule it out though. Like, honestly, I think you can't rule it out. Like they may just completely pivot to another direction, and the way that they solve for it is just to bring some games forward, like they've done so many times before, and that's the Nintendo way. You know, you bring the Wii U games over to the Switch, you bring the Switch games over to whatever's next, and I think it's worked for them. And I'm not saying it won't be back compat. I think, you know, if I was to speculate, I would say they would probably want to do that because I think it's a bad idea if they don't.
Right.
But I also understand there's technical reasons that may make it difficult if they move off the X1 for back compat, right? So I don't really know which way they're going to go on this one. It could really go either way. I think they have got a solution for it, but you know, if they announce something without it, it wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
I'm curious if this generation, the consumer base sent a message to Nintendo that they can just port games up and sell really well. I mean, a lot of the Wii U ports they did sold better than the Wii U versions that released.
Well, that's also because not a lot of people bought the Wii U.
The thing is about, I mean, look, if Nintendo announces new hardware and then they show off a new Mario game, a new Zelda game, and let's just say that Metroid Prime is on new hardware, right? That's really, I mean, if you're bringing out the big guns, the heavy hitters, that's pretty much all it takes for most of your fan base to move off and be like, okay, the Switch was awesome, loved it for so many years, but this is the new thing now. Yeah. So, you know, I think it could go either way on this one, honestly. I don't know. Could be either way.
I'm really trying to figure this one out because the OLED Switch doesn't work with all Switch games. I don't know if people realize that or not. Doesn't.
Really?
Really? Oh, look at that.
What?
Maybe a video was going to come out. I don't know. And the Switch Lite doesn't work with all Switch games.
Wait. Let's go.
Oh yeah, Switch Lite.
What's one game that doesn't work on the OLED?
The Labo fishing game.
Oh, I see. I got
it doesn't work because the dimensions are incorrect, and it even says it won't work. In fact, most of the Labo stuff where you need the Switch does not work. The piano doesn't work.
Damn, really missing out on some great shit with that.
Hey, just because the Labo beat you.
It's that's actually kind of good to know. I didn't know that.
Is there any like warnings on the box about it or anything? Because that seems like
website.
It's on the website. Okay.
Buried in the terms of service.
Yeah.
No one else reads.
I mean,
it's but with the Switch Lite, Super Mario Party doesn't work on it because you can't sync up a Joy-Con.
Can you not sync Joy-Cons in general though? For that, you can't put in tabletop
to the Switch Lite. It does. It even says it does not work with the Switch Lite.
There's
Super Mario Party.
I always just assumed you could do like a tabletop.
I thought so too. But apparently, but I guess they figured we took the kickstand off. They'll never figure out a way to set this thing up. So they, it's interesting that they kind of already have some weird stuff going on here, but they don't really mention it much. So for example, if we go to the next generation and there is no Joy-Con and you can't sync your Joy-Con up, how many games does that eliminate right there?
Well, this is my thing. This is my thought process, right? Is if it's not backwards compatible, which we hope it is, right? Because we always like anti-consumer always gets thrown around, blah blah. But like if they're going to talk about like a family of Nintendo Switch systems, is, you know, like at what point is this family considered concluded? Because to me, it's almost like if you're not going to have it be backwards compatible, are you also going to encourage the continuation support of the Switch, Switch Lite, Switch OLED, whatever it is, and almost like create that competition within yourself? Or are you just going to believe in like a hard cutoff and having those people switch over? Right. And if it is a hybrid or it isn't, that's going to severely impact people's decisions as well, because some people, like, the hybrid is like the biggest selling point for them from buying over other consoles. Because to some people, they're not necessarily like Mario or Zelda might not be the main reason why they get that console. And to some people, they're just buying it because it's a Nintendo. Like, so I don't know. I think for me, it's like, it's just trying to get into their mind of like, they could make a lot of money just having everybody start fresh and buy again. A lot of people are going to get really upset and not buy it, and then some people will complain and still buy it.
A lot of people will still buy it as long as they don't Wii U the thing up. Yeah. So
it's like, are they going to create competition within themselves if they choose to support it, or how would you end up like phasing it off and then somehow re-release all those games all over again, or not, or maybe make the online like a Game Pass kind of thing to have? I don't know how they would do that. It's just, I guess like backwards compatible is just like, it would really suck if it didn't exist.
I mean, yeah, everyone would be pretty annoyed about that, I'd say, especially because we have these Nintendo accounts. We would assume our purchases would continue on. And I mean, the NSO stuff would, all the ROMs and all that would work.
Even if it's like they realize that you had I mean, maybe it'd be a whole mess. Like maybe if they realize like, oh, you had the game previously, we'll just give you a digital version of it. I don't think they do that, but...
Mail it to them. You send them a copy and they send you a code.
I mean, I think they're just going to rely on the fact that you already own a Switch, right? Like if you've got you know, a footprint on Nintendo account, and clearly you've got the hardware. So I think they're probably just going to say, it's the old line, you know, if you want to play these games, there's a system out there for you.
There's a system for you. No, the John Matrick. If you don't like the Xbox One, keep your Xbox 360. That went well.
I just don't. I just can't understand, and I'm not even saying this is necessarily happening because it might not be the case. We're all just kind of assuming things here, but I can't understand the thought process of, wow, this is working out really fucking well. Let's completely scrap it and go a completely different direction.
I agree with that.
Like that, but you still you have to have that feeling in the back of your head because of the company that we're talking with. I think every single person on this panel, every single person in the chat that owns a Switch, if you ask them what they want out of Nintendo's next system, I think a vast majority would say a Switch, but better.
Yep, better graphics.
Better graphics. A DLC Switch system.
Gotta warn me, right, baby?
You know, it works.
I'll get the change.org petition ready.
It works for Sony. You know, the PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2. That was some good DLC. Like, I just.
So Sean, what you're saying is you're talking about a Switch Pro. You're not talking about a new generation, right?
I mean,
you're basically taking the formula and you're just making it better.
But that's the whole thing. You know, which direction are they going to go in? Because is it going to be a revision, like a phone, like a Game Boy to Game Boy Color thing, where they classify it as the same thing, or is it going to be a successor? I don't think you need to go with the current console gaming trend. You don't go with the current console gaming trend to begin with anyways. You're Nintendo. You kind of march to the beat of your own drum. I think what you do is you keep the Switch name and you just have a beefier system that's still classified as a Switch. I don't understand. We're getting to the point of diminishing returns with a lot of consoles anyways, and Nintendo still has to play catch up in the graphics department. Why overcomplicate things? Why overcomplicate the situation when you have such a positive thing going and you want more repeat customers? Once again, every single person on this panel, every single person in this chat that has a Switch, more than likely would want this new system.
Yeah, so I'll buy it. Yeah, I'd buy it. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see the need to reinvent the wheel, and I think it would be foolish. Maybe not even from a business perspective, but from a consumer perspective. From my perspective, it would be foolish to try and reinvent the wheel.
I mean, what do we need? Just a Switch 4K, better looking, visuals, more powerful, you're good to go. That's kind of it.
What do other consoles do? What is the difference between a PlayStation 1 and a PlayStation 2? PlayStation 2 to a PlayStation 3, an Xbox 360.
Hold on, we got pressure sensitive buttons with the PS2 and DVD playback.
Those are controller things, though.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. I'm talking about
on the PS3. We got the military involved with PS3s, man, setting them up in.
I'm talking about from a gaming perspective.
Okay, gotcha.
But I also feel like the reason why, and I can understand, I don't know if this is MVG's reasoning, but the reason why we can say we wouldn't be surprised is just because it is Nintendo, and sometimes they do things that
suck.
in their not in their quest, because they just kind of are avant-garde, like passively, just because they've been around for super long. I don't know. I just think that it kind of sucks in a way that, like, part of me is just like, I wouldn't be surprised if they did do something that felt like a shot in the foot.
Here's the thing I've been thinking about, and I haven't even discussed this in a video, so this is an exclusive. Do we feel like the kind of strangeness of Nintendo was more of an Iwata thing?
Yeah,
maybe with the changing of the guard and this new guy, because we don't know dick about this. We don't know dick about Furukawa. We don't know dick about Doug Bowser, because they don't say anything unless it's an investors meeting or Doug says, "Hey, I went to Osaka."
We know a little bit about Furukawa. He's safe. He's very safe. Yeah, and he doesn't like to make rash.
I mean, we're still running on Iwata's idea with the Switch. We don't, like Sean said, we don't, because Kimishima took over, and he kind of just like, we're just gonna make sure this thing doesn't get messed up or in it. We're just gonna roll along with it. Games are in development, and then we see Furukawa take over, and he hasn't been challenged with releasing a game system yet.
Well,
like
that's what
the Wii and the DS were very different systems than everything else at the time, and those were both Iwata's ideas. That was all Iwata.
I sincerely, more than anything else, I think we're going to get more Switches, but I think it's going to be called like Switch Home and Switch Go. And I think they are going to make one that's a way more powerful thing that cannot be undocked, and then a version that can be docked, but maybe doesn't have like, not as good of graphics or frame rate or visuals and stuff. And so, I think that's what they're probably going to do. That way they can still kind of hit that market, because it seems like the handheld market made them a lot of freaking money, but people like me, I only play it on my
They're
TV.
gonna go like the Apple route, where they have like a Switch, like a Mac Mini almost, and you also have like the iPad, and
it just makes sense to keep a family. You know what I mean? Especially like it sells itself almost at this point.
The branding's too strong. I don't know why you move on from it.
Well, and then they could upsell it the same way that there's like the Series S and the Series X. It seems like the Series S has been selling surprisingly well for Xbox. So I think maybe if we had like a $300 new Switch that's just a better dockable one, and then a $500 one that's Switch Home, I'd buy Switch Home.
Someone in the chat says it doesn't switch though.
Oh yeah, neither does the light.
Switch light.
Yeah,
I know it was a light.
We're way past that train. The Switch Home ain't no noise.
Over. That's over. Remember when people were mad about that? It can't be a handheld only. It's a Switch. And then Nintendo did it, and like, oh, all right, then. That's that, I guess.
I mean, it's the same company that made a 2DS.
Yeah,
so, it's only enjoy these games in 3D, except if you buy a 2DS, then you're okay. Then you're fine.
It's just a brand name at this point. It doesn't even have an actual definition behind it. So that's kind of. Hey, someone said, hey, if there's a Switch on it, there you go. Technically, it's a Switch. Just gonna need a power switch on it.
Make it a brand. Make it a brand.
Yeah. I have to imagine if he's gonna play it safe, that's what you do. That's all. You sell us the same kind of system all over again, just more powerful, and run this thing to 2026 or 2027, something crazy.
I don't understand how that's not like the perfect plan. I don't get it. I hope that is the plan. I mean, like I said, we're all just kind of assuming, but
I don't even know what they would do otherwise. Would they get foldable screens, higher refresh rate screens, continue to lean into the handheld side? I don't know. Can they get 3 screens? The screen.
You're gonna say something, and they're gonna be like, crap, scratch what we've been working on. Get all those prototypes out of the way. Change it.
The RMAs on full screens and kids breaking them and snapping them in half and stuff.
Dude, they're gonna do something weird with this news. They're gonna do something weird with the new system. Hey, what chat? I'm just preparing you. I'm preparing you for the potential disappointment. Like when I told you the VR headset for PlayStation VR 2 will probably cost more than the system. They called me crazy then.
No, we all agreed with you.
Not you guys. Not you guys.
Yeah,
Some people told me it was gonna be $400.
Dude, some people on Twitter were saying it's gonna be $200. Twitter's a bunch of fucking morons.
I'm talking about on Twitter.
Listen, I learned on Twitter that the next Switch console is a Switch Micro, so I think they're pretty smart. So.
Finally. Maybe Nintendo just makes a cell phone. There you go. We have a Discord question over there, Evan.
With MVG's thumbnail being stolen and published, have any of you ever found your work content used without your permission?
All the time.
Oh yeah.
I gave that guy permission to do it. I told him, I said, look, I know him. He'll be fine with it. Just go ahead and put it in the book.
How did you come across that MVG? Sorry, go ahead, Max. Sorry.
Someone on Twitter sent it to me. Actually, I reached out to the author, and he actually he's a nice guy, and he was very, very apologetic. So we're cool. But
did he pay you?
I can't really pay. No, he didn't pay me. He didn't pay me. No, he was fine. He was very apologetic. But generally speaking, like I don't really come across this stuff. People just send it to me and be like, "Is that your thumbnail?" I'm like, you know what? I think that is. So, yeah.
Max, what were you? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The weirdest I had is somebody at one point was cutting up. Somebody had like made an algorithm to cut up one of my things and make it so I would review games I haven't reviewed. So there were these videos that were like Bonk's Adventure, like a bunch of Atari games that I've never played, but they cut it up and made it sound like I was reviewing these games. And it was like Dreamcast guy reviews Bonk. And I'm like, I don't even know how to, like, legally, I guess this is fair use. And I had like 10 views. So I'm like, I'm not even going to take this down. And then the other thing is somebody at one point had a soundboard that they'd made and was calling radio stations and were playing sound bites to the phone. So like somebody showed me all these clips from like Colorado, like, hey, they're calling number 9. What do you want to hear? And I'm like, hey, what's up, gamers? It's me, Dreamcast guy. Like, oh, it's a prank caller. So he just kept prank calling people as me.
I mean, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know what to do. Honestly, both those situations.
You got the wackiest interactions with people. Yeah. I swear.
I'll show you the people that sent me the cult videos. I think I've shown you those. The people that had like shrines made of me. Yeah, those people are weird.
So on YouTube's.
Go ahead, Jordan, hit us.
Yeah.
Sorry. On YouTube's back end, under the copyright area, YouTube will alert you if they have found your content on someone else's video. And I'll check it out sometimes, and I'll see it's a lot of different countries, different channels from different countries re-uploading my content, just dubbed in a different language. And usually, what I do is I'll just send them a message saying, "Hey, if you're gonna I don't care that you're talking about what I'm talking about. Just edit your own stuff, because they'll use the same footage, but they'll leave all of my edits in, any text or any images that I put together, or even my thumbnails." And I'll just say, hey, can you please not do that? And they're usually pretty receptive and apologize. But it does get a little bit much sometimes when it's like you find one video and then it goes into like hundreds of videos. And it's like, all right, just make your own content.
I tell people straight up, if I review a game and you want to take my gameplay footage, be my guest. I don't care. That's my. Where's this copyright area though? I want to.
It's just under the word copyright on the dashboard.
Why would they want to use your gameplay? It's trash.
Where is this now?
It's literally the word that says copyright. Yeah. And you could see any channel that directly that YouTube believes, and if it'll say like the percentage rate, like this video has 90% of your footage in it, and you can go and check it out. And if you think it's like if it's just your gameplay, that's usually fine because it's whatever. And like I don't care if they use my cut up footage of like animation that I use for my videos. It's when they leave all of my edits in, like the text stuff that I put on there, the images that I made into PNGs, any of my edits in there, or my jokes. And some of them even leave like they don't cut out like my face, my image, my icon. And it's like, well, clearly you just threw my video up there and redubbed it. So that's
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I someone. Like my
reaction, some horror stories about this. Okay.
My reaction videos, like there's a couple I think of bigger Japanese channels that will put subtitles on my channel, which is, in my opinion, like I'm not paying someone to translate what I'm saying or doing in my reaction videos to Japanese. So like I'm not necessarily going to complain. And to be honest, like if it shares the hype for a game, I don't care. It's a reaction video. It's not my property anyway. And other than that, like usually it's just like if someone's going to use my content, it's probably for a hate video or those really inappropriate forums. But that's I think
your reaction was in the Xbox documentary.
Yeah, which they did reach out though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was in that. One of my videos was in that for half a second, and I had to sign a waiver and everything.
Yeah, that was
fancy.
Yeah, they were good about that.
Yep.
Okay. This is from. Let me go to super chats for top of the hour. We're gonna talk about some Pokemon stuff, and then we're gonna attempt to figure out the Game of the Year nominees, which should be that'll be a fun conversation. Because the Game Awards are gonna have theirs revealed on Monday, so we're gonna attempt to put together our list and see how close we get to it when they reveal it. Go over here to I Live for Retro. Which game will sell the most within a year? Pokemon Scarlet and Violet or God of War Ragnarok?
Pokemon.
I'm gonna say Pokemon because I think this Pokemon's become the best selling one.
Game too.
That too, yeah. And this is from Glenn. Says all of you are old like I am. Does playing games at your age still bring the same joy it did when you were young? What helps to keep that joy?
Money.
I mean, for me, it's still the fact that everybody's trying new things. I feel like games are, for the most part, still less glitchy than some of the weird, broken, messed up things we played as kids. I don't know. It's constantly cool to me. Like even this week, I felt so blown away by Sonic Frontiers. I felt like I was playing Sonic Adventure 3. The fact that I can feel that still like keeps me going.
I think it's impossible to get that joy back. It's over. It's never coming back.
I agree.
Joy is dead.
Because back then you didn't have any other. Your responsibilities were.
When did you pay taxes back then? Never.
Making sure you ate all your dinner, and then that was it. And as long as your homework was done for the next day, or if it's Friday, you just roll through to Sunday. You got to make sure you pick the right game at Blockbuster to rent. That was your responsibility.
But that's the thing. I don't think it completely goes away. I think you just end up not just getting burnout on life, but also getting burnout on games. I think if you experience burnout, like give yourself something else to focus on, or find a way to like give yourself a refresh in a way. Because like for me, I know I've been going through burnout, and like I consider myself someone who still obviously gets very excited for games to where, it's like it moves you. But when you experience those sessions of burnout, it's almost like you do have to find a way to give yourself that reset, or find something else that gives you like a motivation. Like for me, my niece, she's getting to the age now where she can play games. So it's like now you're kind of re-experiencing it through their eyes. And also with the new God of War coming out, my thing, because I haven't been able to play games this week, has been watching people beat 2018 God of War for the first time, and just like go and browse all the different Twitch channels that are like going through the ending and like going through that and seeing how they react, because it's like then they're like, wait, what? And then and then you're like re-experiencing the joy and like genuine reaction from them. So it's like I might be burnt out from playing games myself, but I'm doing something else that kind of reminds me of like it's okay to experience burnout, but that doesn't mean the feeling's gone forever.
I don't think it's burnout. It's just I think I look at games differently now. So like an example, when Breath of the Wild came out, everyone was like super impressed and amazed at this thing. I'm like, this is a good game. And then I hit something with a weapon and it broke, and I was like, write that down. Okay, I'm just gonna write that down. All right, we can keep going.
Would you say it's because of your profession? Like that's because that's probably what you do.
Yeah, probably. That I think has a lot to do with it. But like also
MVG makes games, so like he probably dissects it with a different state of mind than most of us who are just on the consuming side.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I do, but most of the time I'm unplugging. If I like when I start playing God of War, I'm not even thinking about like graphics and physics and systems and TDP and all that shit. I'm just wanting to play the game.
Yeah, that's good.
It's I just think it was a different time back then. Also, you didn't have to look at your phone for Twitter or whatever else. You just you were just there in the moment playing the
get off
Super
Twitter,
Nintendo
man.
or
I've
N64 or GameCube.
Oh, don't worry. Twitter's getting off of us. It's fine.
Bro, I've been away and Twitter's on fire about being on fire.
Oh, it's
So,
about
like,
to die
I come
for
back
sure.
and people are like, "I'm leaving Twitter," and I'm like, "Are we all like, are we going on a hiatus?" And everybody's
Plug
like,
it in
"No,
with
we're
anything
good."
though. Plug it in with any other social media, Facebook, Tinder for Sean, any of that stuff, right?
Everyone's saying go to Mastodon. Mastodon is a piece of shit.
You know what my
website.
problem is
Yeah.
with
What is that? I
Mastodon?
keep hearing about it. I've never heard of it until
I
I
thought you said-
It's
I thought you said
Discord,
Mastodon.
Instagram.
Here's my problem with Mastodon. Whenever someone says go follow me on Mastodon, you know what pops in my head immediately?
The band.
No, what pops in my head
Every time
right
I see
away.
it trending, I'm like, oh, what's that band doing right now?
No, whenever I see Mastodon pop up or someone says go follow me on Mastodon, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers segment pops in my mind where they start morphing. For some reason, I just remember Zach yelling Mastodon, and I'm like, oh, that's right. So I can't. Also, can we really take a website serious when they name themselves Mastodon rather than T-Rex or something like that?
Don't take any websites serious.
Saber-tooth tiger. It could have been yeah,
Like motherfuckers act like
the Trini
Twitter is
disrespect on
the
this.
Listen,
on their life.
if I know we're tangenting whatever, but if Twitter goes down, there is going to be a lot of problems.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, there will be. Yeah.
Dude, think about all the community managers that will be out of a
Yeah.
job straight up. Bang. Like literally tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people out of work just like that.
Well, MVG, you can attest it. I've heard about all the times that business deals are done at E3 by just being able to slide in Twitter DMs. Like literally less games will be made without Twitter.
Yep.
adapt. You gotta
Guess
adapt.
we're all going to Mastodon,
What
whatever
happens if
that
Tinder
is.
disappears? You gonna walk past that gas station?
There'll be another one. There'll be another
Right.
one. I'm worried about that.
Be another one.
The new app's
Twitter
just called
2 coming
Dumpster
out.
Fire.
They go follow me on Mastodon before Tinder goes away. You're gonna be like, what?
I mean, the biggest problem is that Twitter is just going to vanish. Like that's the thing that people don't understand is when Elon Musk runs out of money, he's already lost $13 billion this week. When it's gone, he's just going to press off. So start building your social circles off other websites.
This is from Zoob says I'm watching Dota Dragon Blood, yet another great
too.
video game to Netflix animation
Yeah.
adaptation. Okay, we'll watch
Yeah.
Tekken Bloodline next. Okay, cool.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah,
Ugh.
actually, same. I'm same brace. I'm on book 2.
Good luck.
So I just started book 2. It's actually pretty good. I'm not even super into Dota.
Travis says DualSense buttons are pyramid, globe, cross, and box. I'll go with that. I mean, you got cross right. Myther says, "What's your favorite UMD movie that you own?"
So I have a tie. It's either between You Got Served or Triple X2 State of the Union.
in the
featuring
world?
Ice
No,
Cube.
it's 100% you got served.
I have some. I think I
both are
only
equally pretty good.
I only have the Lost episode 1.
I think did everyone have what was the movie that came with the PSP? Was it Lords of Dogtown or something like that?
I thought it was
Heck,
Bulletproof Monk.
So, I know every PSP at one point they had a bundle and it came with Daxter and a UMD, and I feel like it was Lords of Dogs.
We could get Guess Who with Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher. on
Hey,
UMD.
look at that,
We could
Jordan
get
coming
that
through
one.
with the
You
props
know,
and everything.
that's
You
a
have
good
the
one.
worst collection.
I got You Got Served on UMD. What are you talking about? What do you have? You have a green screen behind you.
How dare you say true things to my face?
This is from Emblem, who says, "With God of War Ragnarok out, when do you think we'll get a sequel, and who will it be?" Well, I haven't beaten it yet, but apparently this is the last one in this line, so I will find out more when I finish the game this week.
Raw.
I have
want to see raw.
I have a video called God of War Ragnarok Ending Explained. It's full of spoilers. When y'all beat the game, go watch my video.
Future says, "I have such a big backlog of games, I can't justify paying $70 for God of War. I'll wait till it drops. I'm in no rush to pay full price for it." My only concern is getting spoiled for any ending and stuff like that. But hey, if you got
that'd be the main
games to
reason.
play and you can avoid them, good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Dream says, "Finally got a PS5 on Halloween. Plus, I'm happy Frontiers is mostly being enjoyed. I'm going to pass though until either Adventure 3 or the next is Adventure-like."
Might be waiting a while.
Yeah, Mr. Juan says, oh, go ahead, next.
I was going to say, this feels like adventure. If you're waiting for adventure, this feels like adventure because it has like set stages you go to and stuff.
Mr.
Closer
Juan
you'll get.
says, "Shout out to the legend that was Kevin Conroy for being Batman for so many years through the majority of my life till now. Rip Kevin Conroy."
Not wrong.
Shout
The
out to
GOAT.
Kevin Conroy.
Peace.
We have a Discord question for that, Evan. I thought I saw it pop up.
What's your favorite memory episode movie of Kevin Conroy portraying Batman?
All right,
Mask of the
Sean.
Phantasm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know Sean would have
Mask of the
a.
fucking Phantasm. It was so good.
That is really good.
I just watched it the other day.
Is that up on streaming?
No, I have a Blu-ray.
on Blu-ray.
Wow, you have
I
the
have a
Blu-ray for it.
VHS. It's awesome.
I have I have the animated series on Blu-ray. And
Nice.
it came
Good
with
man.
the movie.
Some of those episodes are pretty dark.
They were so dark.
I think
were.
the one with Clayface, I think, actually scared me as a kid. I feel like
I told this story in my video. When I was a kid, I rented because we were living at my grandparents' house for a couple months because the place we were moving to wasn't ready or something like that, and leases, whatever. And it used to get, whenever we get dark out during daylight savings, I knew that Batman was going to come on Fox. So me and my mom went to the movie store down the street where I rented some terrible games. I rented Mask of the Phantasm because they were like running commercials for it and shit. I was like, oh, this is great. Pop that motherfucker in and started watching it. And then when I was watching it in the dark, and when Phantasm got on screen, it was like, I'm the angel of death. I want you. And I was like, no! And I turned it off. I did not finish the movie. I didn't watch it again until I was like 31.
there was an episode, for some reason, some of the parts of the episode stick with me. There was an episode where Bruce was stuck in a dream, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Scarecrow one. Yeah.
No, was it the Scarecrow one, or was it the
Yeah,
the psychiatrist who figured out who he was?
Well, whatever it was, he figured out he was in a dream because he went and he tried to read a book.
And it's all gibberish. Yeah.
It's all gibberish. He's like, I can't read.
One.
I'm in a dream. And I was like, that's so weird. But for some reason, it stuck with me this whole time.
Well, and I love that episode because there is a Batman in that world. And Bruce Wayne has to realize, like, could I live just being Bruce Wayne? And he can't. And so he ends up throwing himself off the tower to wake up. Oh, my God. That's the episode I was going to say.
Yeah, there were some good episodes back then. Man.
Rest in peace. There's so many interesting interview clips of him doing other Batman lines from like the Dark Knight and stuff that I'd never seen before. Man, that guy was Batman.
This is from Cristobal says, welcome back, Miss Click and Dreamcast guy. Missed you both. I too recently moved. The challenge is real. Good luck with settling down, everyone.
Thanks, man.
I wasn't here last week, but you know.
Fuck you, Sean.
Zoop says Nindy Showcase was all bangers, 10 out of 10.
I didn't watch it.
Do we want to talk about the Indie Showcase real quick? Sean seemed, he just loved this thing. I couldn't believe it.
I didn't even know there was one until I saw Sean.
Yeah,
until I saw Sean. Oh, man. Oh, no. Sean liked it.
That was something.
You know, I'll rifle through these real quick for the Indie Direct.
Please
Let's see. Rogue Legacy 2, Venba, a little to the left. Blank or Blanc, Have a Nice Death, a Once Upon a Jester, Aka, Botany Manor, Goodbye World, Dordone, A Space for the Unbound, Coffee Talk Episode 2, Oni, Road to the Mightiest Oni, Desta, The Memories Between, Pepper Grinder, Inscription, Wobble Dogs, Wrestle Quest, Storyteller, Curse of the Sea Rats, World of Horror, and then the game of the show, Sports Story.
The Oni game looked cool. Hopefully it comes out on PC.
Oni, okay. I was saying any games that stuck out to you guys? Any one in particular? Like, all right, that looks cool.
None.
No.
Not Wrestle Quest. Wrestle Quest looks awesome.
But
I'll be honest. I scrolled past a bunch of trailers, none jumped out at me.
Well,
But
WrestleQuest should have gotten a full thing. It shouldn't have been in the sizzle reel because
That's weird.
That's a really good looking game. And it has like, I've been following it. It has like Bret Hart and Andre the Giant and Road Warriors in it. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Sports Story looks awesome. I am on that day one. It's out next month. People should be checking this out because Golf Story was very good.
it's the game that sold me on the Switch. No joke.
Yes, this looks like they brought in a little bit of Rune Factor with these dungeons going on, but it still kind of has that social life aspect to it, and they're playing different sports. And I am very interested in this because they've been working on it for actually what feels like a while now. They had to delay it and stuff, so I'm expecting quite a bit of content in this game. There were some questionable ones. I wasn't really sure what A Little to the Left was.
But they got a lot of time.
Can you describe that to me, Sean? I thought that was the closeout for a minute. I was like, wait a minute.
You got to see a cat on the screen and the lovely couple.
It looked like you would legitimately just move some stuff around to fix it up. Okay, that's what I thought it was. I was just making sure I wasn't missing something. Okay. Otherwise, though, I'd say the two standouts for me, WrestleQuest and Sports Story. But I will say the Have a Nice Death looked pretty good, too.
Until they said it was a roguelike, and then
Man, you and these roguelikes, you do not like these roguelikes.
I love roguelikes. I'm so addicted. Vampire Survivors has me like hooked, like crack.
I would look into Have a Nice Death then, Max. See what you think about that one.
Yeah. Is it on other platforms or is it Steam only or Switch only?
I don't. I mean, it was an indie, so they wouldn't put up any other logo next to it. I assume.
True.
But this is from Tijo. Says, I've been a lifelong Sonic fan since the Genesis days. My experience with Frontiers is polarizing. I like the adventure fields, but I hate the boost gameplay and how generic the characters are written. Characters are kind of generic.
Yeah.
MTS,
Well, they're also weird.
MTS says, would you buy and play Horizon Zero Dawn now on PS5 or wait for the remake?
It's part of PlayStation Plus Extra, so pay and play it in a month.
There you go. Capono says, John, seriously, are you going to pay the $8 or nah? I don't think so. There'd have to be some ridiculous value or some crazy thing happening where I'm like, oh, well, nah, I got to get that. I don't really see any reason for me to pay it now. And I don't even know what's happening with this. They keep moving stuff around. For all I know, next month it'll be $20 again, or it'll be free, or it'll be, who knows?
Any money on Twitter right now while shit's so volatile.
Yeah, that is a Discord question. So anyone paying it or no?
No.
I still have this
Paying
Someone,
I used to pay the $5 for regular Twitter Blue, because but like they basically ended that account on me. So
they came up with an idea to try to monetize the user base by introducing a new Twitter Blue version click where it's $8,
right?
And then you get a little check mark next to your name.
But he shut that back down?
Yes, because people did exactly what I said they were going to do.
Yeah,
they started impersonating accounts. They had Mario flipping off the crowd.
You saw the stock market just take dives for like major companies.
I just
That's great.
My thought process is this, right? If you want to do the $8 version, that's fine. But like keep the verification that exists as it was, like keep that the same, and then do something different. Like like if you're paying the $8 Twitter Blue, like give them like a little blue bird or something. Like give them a different identification.
Well,
your account is.
They did, but like night mode, it was the wrong color or something for a little bit. Like it was all over.
They had to work through a lot
too
of
much
issues.
of a mess. Too much of a mess. Like don't change pre-existing things that people already associate as one thing. Like you do something new.
Well,
you know.
And the thing was that verification originally existed so that brands would come there. Like you'd have a Nestle account and a Coca-Cola account and a GMC and a Marvel account. But now that random guys can just put like a 1 and a 0 and make it look almost identical, and you say Black Panther 3, he fights Super Hitler or something, like no one's like, people can't tell the difference. Now all the brands are fleeing. Everybody's pausing ads.
It's already been associated with something for too long. Like, you need something new. You don't change pre-existing things. I think that was a very sloppy decision.
So Cash Shop, Battle Pass, sell cosmetics. I'm gonna do all that stuff for the accounts.
Well, a lot of people said they should have done what Reddit does, which is you sell those little stupid doodads so people can like reply to a tweet they like with like stars and hearts and stuff that cost like $1. People would do that before they're gonna pay like for a check mark.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Hellman says, John, 1 to 10, what do you give Frontiers now? I got a nice 7 on it right now.
John, a 1? That's crazy.
Nice 7. Depends on how things continue to go here. I feel like this is going to be a kind of a slog to get the rest of the way through, because I think I'm going to be doing very similar things that I'm doing now in the next, I don't know, however many zones there are, 4.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Which is weird because they say there's 5 islands, but the 5th island is like a room.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Al says, to be honest, statistically, Sean's probably been a father several times already. Heck, we might all be his offspring for all we know.
I mean, you never know.
Sean just doesn't answer the door. So Skylar says, Click has been gone so long, I thought she died. Glad she didn't. No, she made it through her Death Stranding pilgrimage. Everyone saw that picture she posted up on Twitter, and it was quite eye-opening. So
yeah, I emotionally died.
Glad to see that you made it through that. That was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then they ask, how do we get on the Discord? Evan has that set up. Actually, I think to go along with the Patreon, if I'm not mistaken. Evan,
it's either a Patreon or become a member on YouTube.
There you go. Okay. Dark Dream says, finally got a PS5 on Halloween. Plus, I'm happy Frontiers being mostly enjoyed. I'm going, they did the same. They did it twice. Okay. Well, thank you, Dark Dreams. Sneaky says, is a Spawncast interested in Fantasy Critic? It's a fantasy video game league based off Open Critic scores. Thanks to the great podcast. Cheers. I don't know. Fantasy Critic. I guess it goes by review scores. I've never heard of that before.
It seems too deep cut for me.
J2 Blue says, which do you prefer? The Blades of Chaos or Leviathan X? I like
Chaos.
I like the Blades of Chaos. Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
I don't think they're both pretty fucking dope. I'm not gonna lie.
They're pretty cool. I do like the Blades. The Blades are pretty awesome.
There's just something satisfying about when the Leviathan axe like snaps back into your hand. You're like, fuck you.
Well, in Ragnarok, you can shoot fire down the chains. You do it right at the start, damn it.
So, I don't know if this in the first game happened or not, but when you call back the Leviathan axe and it goes past trees, it like brings the wind
Snaps
with
them.
the trees and moves them a bit. I
Yeah,
can't
wasn't
remember
that
if
like
that was in
a
the
puzzle thing in the first game? In some bits where you know those like light things, you had to do something like that in the first game. I thought.
Well, I
Like
just
you
mean
would
like
snap
just
it somewhere, then you'd move around somewhere else, and you'd pull it back so it would go through some stuff.
I just mean like the wind physics.
You're talking about like the details where it like
like if
around.
I called it back and it came through a bunch of trees, but like the trees blew like a bunch of wind just went through.
I don't know. I have to go back and look.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Boot says, I thought the Whatnot auction app would be jank, but nope. I've bought some vinyl and retro games in the last week. Very cool app. More fun than eBay. Then big shout out to David. David says, hey guys, it's Hell Knight. I changed my name since I just started setting up animation editing studio. Loving the content you guys bring, and especially listening to the gaming news before heading to work every morning. We'll update my channel soon. That's from David's Doomed Report, also known as Hell Knight. Shout out to David.
It's a good name.
Team Zero Gaming says Nintendo needs to focus more on their online.
They do.
Well, they always say it every fucking Q&A session.
The investor stuff.
We're focused on adding in more experiences to the online. It's like, are you really though?
I want to see another one of those.
I feel like you've said this.
I want to see another one of those Tetris 99 kind of games get thrown. Just see what other creative thing they come up with.
Or it doesn't even have to be a 99 game. You could do other stuff. It's very lackadaisical.
Galaga 99.
Good game.
Okay. Casual says when Nintendo pursues power, they fail, like the GameCube and Wii U.
The Wii U wasn't really a power pursuit. The GameCube did fine, relatively speaking.
It didn't fail.
Yeah,
It
didn't do PS2 numbers.
yeah.
But it
Just came in last place.
Yeah, but I mean, how expensive is it now? And everybody wants stuff from it. So
Third place is still podium, sir.
This is true.
Well,
This is
and
true.
gaming is also very different now. I think HD TVs, graphics, solid state, like everybody, I think everything shifted quite a bit. So I'm not saying that Nintendo needs to be making 4K games, but I think if they sold a 4K console, people would definitely buy it.
Well, they're probably not gonna, whatever they come up with, if it's still a hybrid, it's not gonna be as powerful as a PS5 or a series.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, but
certain
it doesn't-
limitations, but
it doesn't even need to be.
no, we're just looking for the games we have now, just better.
Yeah.
That's really it. It's like, because you turn on Sonic Frontiers on the Switch, you're like, or you're playing Bayonetta 3 and it just, the frame rate's all over the place. You're like,
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or Hyrule Warriors. I mean,
But that's what I mean. If they come up with a better hardware and those games all of a sudden are 1080p to 4K upscaled and they're even frame rate, all of a sudden people are like, oh, okay, that's good.
It's good to get those TDPs up. That's
There
all.
you go. It says my vision for next Switch is the Pimax Portal.
hey, that's
I don't know what that is. Demolition
Turtle.
Man says, check that out. Also, if they could find a way to make the old Switch into Wii U pad controllers for the next system, that would be awesome. Whatever ideas they have that are linked to the Wii U, they just need to throw those in the garbage right now.
True.
Oh.
Never go back to that.
Yeah. Remember that time you get horribly screwed over? Let's try and steal ideas from that.
Oh boy. Okay, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet out Friday. Jordan's on it.
I'm on it.
Okay, which one are you getting, Jordan? Both. Never
Both.
mind. You're both. Okay, cool.
Which one are you
which-
playing
I
first?
think he was playing
Violet.
Scarlet. No, Violet. All right.
You know what?
You can't say both.
No, I'm playing Violet. It's no doubt. But there's
correct answer.
Mhm.
there. Listen, I'm not leaking it. I'm not going to spoil anything. I don't consider seeing the new Pokemon leaks. And there's some really cool Pokemon that are going to be in Violet that aren't in Scarlet. that I'm kind of a little pissed about. But I'll just trade for him. That being said, I'm very excited.
Purple Supremacy
coming out for. Oh, which one are you getting? Violet as well, Max? You getting Scarlet?
Violet. Yeah, I'm going. I already have Violet pre-ordered.
Which one are you getting, MVG?
Neither of them.
Oh, whoa,
loser alert!
Whoa.
What about
Did he die? He died on my screen?
Okay, listen.
Oh wow, it took him out. Oh no.
Oh no, that sucks.
Great
Okay,
timing.
so like, I'll play Pokemon eventually, maybe. I don't know. I think once I saw the motorcycle looking lizard thing, but it's not a motorcycle. I don't know. Once I saw that, I kind of just was like, this is dumb. So
Whoa, man.
I
That
probably would
Pokemon
play Violet.
Slander.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah, it looks dumb, bro.
I'm gonna start.
You looked in a mirror.
It looks dumb in a
Yeah.
good
I'm
way.
going with. I'm
I
going
say
with
to myself
Violet.
every day.
Same.
Going with Violet. Going with Violet. But I thought we would do a quick Metacritic prediction on the. Oh, actually, Sean, which one are you getting?
I guess Scarlet.
You guessed. He sounds so excited.
I
guess.
I mean, I don't know. Why should I be? Sell me on this game. Why should I be excited for this?
It's different. It's open world.
It's more Pokemon. I can't sell
It
you on it.
looks like a PS2 game.
Yeah.
Oh, watch out! You're not allowed to say that.
Oh yeah, they'll come for me. I forgot.
OJ just joins the
How
call.
dare
Like, hey,
What'd you say? I'm at my sister's birthday party, but look, we got to talk about this.
show me the numbers. How many pixels?
This is
least
we
10.
had with the last Pokemon games we had. Arceus
Show me the
was
See, I liked Arceus.
Arceus
was fun.
that was an 83. Well, that's the thing. They have similar concepts to that in these new ones from Arceus.
Yeah.
Like the Pokemon being on the overworld map and all this. And okay,
I mean, it's a Pokemon mainline game, so it'll score high. I
This
don't
is
think
the
that's-
Pokemon game I said was gonna come when we were talking about Sword and Shield. I said it's gonna be this one that's gonna finally start fleshing things out for the generation on the handheld stuff. So
Sword and Shield about an 80, Sean, on Metacritic. 80.
I could see it being around that, maybe up to an 85.
I think I'm gonna go 85. I'm going 85 on this one.
go 83.
I'm
I'll
gonna say
say 84.
86.
Okay. So we're thinking mid 80s then on this one.
I'm gonna
I-
say
yeah.
not as high as it could be if it had voice acting.
True.
Yeah, please,
I'm gonna say-
Pokemon, please. That's all I want. I don't care about, honestly. I don't care about your N64 trees or all these other games. Just give me voice acting. I'm tired of reading. All right, I've read my whole life. I'm tired. I just want to listen. Okay.
All right, Evan, hit us with it.
What number?
I thought you were about to give us your prediction.
Give us a number. Evan.
I don't give a shit.
Which one are you getting? Which one are you getting,
My
Evan?
man.
I'm
Me and
getting-
Evan are gonna be watching
I'm
the World
getting
Cup
none
next
of
week.
them.
What
Oh
Pokemon?
man,
Whatever MVG's
Yeah.
playing that week, I'll play it. Whatever. We'll just go.
he's playing
Call
God
of
of War.
Oh fuck, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Fine, Halo. It's hey, you know what? I think Pokemon's gonna be fun. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Jordan, we're gonna have a good time.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
I guess I'm not invited.
You can come too.
No.
They got 4 people for multiplayer.
No.
Well, we need you with your Scarlet.
Oh, now you
Wait.
need me, huh?
There's
Yeah.
multiplayer?
And
Yeah.
yeah, there's gonna be 4 people multiplayer online.
Yeah,
for
you can
Pokemon.
just join
That
in and
you
play.
can apparently wander anywhere you want in the other
Yeah.
person's game. You just go do your own thing.
Mhm.
It's gonna
And
be
you
one
know
of
what
those-
else? You can take, if you're in someone else's game, you can steal their shiny Pokemon that you come across.
Is
You
it
can
going to
take
be one of
them
those
yourself.
things where it's like the progress you do in another person's game doesn't transfer over to your game though?
Probably.
'Cause
Well, I
if
bet-
that's the case, I'm not playing with that.
It's also on Nintendo's internet. So like if they have to do a cutscene anytime someone loads in or leaves, you're probably gonna be seeing that a lot because people are gonna drop and it's just gonna be terrible service. It's gonna
It
be
is using
horrible.
the new online as well, so that could be like what Monster Hunter Rise used. So could be good there. I'm sticking with 85. I think we see something around there, 84 to 86. I'm going right in the middle at 85.
I'm feeling a solid 83.
Okay, same as Arceus. Sure. Sure. I think the technical aspect we brought up. I think it'll be mentioned that the resolution's not great and the frame rate drops consistently, and
Are
that'll be
people
something that holds
boycotting?
back. No, that's the problem because I need them to because I think this is going to be the best selling Pokemon game ever
Boycott
made.
it, people. Let's go.
You need a
But we-
boycott though. For that to
Yeah,
happen.
no one's mad about the game.
Come on. So I'm about to say we can't even have a voice actor come out and say something about it because there's no voice acting.
Right? They thought ahead.
Where's a Helena Taylor when you need one?
And the thing is, it's been data mined. All this stuff's out there, and no one's mad. They might be in trouble.
Damn, what if they actually got it right this time?
I want to look at the leaks.
Man,
Oh, they're
this
great.
is bad.
A lot of fun Pokemon coming.
This is
Are
bad.
there
I don't even. They might have GameCube trees in there, not even 64 stuff.
Is there leaked gameplay?
And that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
the
leaked
game-
everywhere,
the game,
dude.
As of right now, the game is out in the wild.
It's just out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's completely leaked.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's be an interesting week run up, but 85. Looking at 85. Okay.
What day is it out?
Friday, 18th. Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then 4 days later we have Evil West and Gungrave.
When's Callisto Protocol?
December 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, December 2nd.
Somewhere in there, yeah. All right, then. We'll see how that turns out. Let's talk about Game of the Year. We have the Video Game Awards. We're going to have the nominees announced Monday, noon Eastern Time. 6 slots are open. They even asked, what are going to be your Game of the Year? I think we can come up with a list. We can do it. Okay, we got to work together, but we can make this happen. All right. I'm going to open up
Take your time.
text document here. There we go.
Boom, perfect.
We got a
We
PowerPoint
have-
slide deck going on here. What's happening?
Are you going to share that with us? Is it a Google Doc or?
I can.
He'll just tell us. He'll just tell us it exists.
So we have 6 slots. I mean, I think most people assume, because we have to think like the people who are nominating and voting on this, because they give us some vote, but let's be real, it's worth like 10%. So we're not gonna have a huge influence on this.
Mm-hmm.
6 slots.
Will though. Newsweek will.
Good. 6 slots. Okay, we assume the top 2. We assume 2 of them are already reserved for Elden Ring and God of War at this point.
Horizon as well.
Highest rated games. Okay, so we have God of War in there. We got Elden Ring. I should probably look at, because again, that's going to go by the most reviewed games and then the
let's look at
highest
the
scoring
Metacritic.
games. Yeah, highest scoring, most reviewed, because you have critics who are mostly voting on this stuff to nominate games. Like you said, Horizon Forbidden West would most likely be in there.
I mean, it's not going to win anything whatsoever, but yeah, it's going to be there.
I think most of us assume it's going to come down to God of War and Elden Ring, but you still got to fill out 4 spots. And for some studios, just being nominated and up there is a big deal.
All right, it does boost your sales quite a bit.
One of them's going to be an indie game. So what
That's what I thought too, right? We got to have an indie game slot.
It's
heard
got
a lot
to
of
be
talk
Tunic
of,
or
like,
something.
Grounded.
Shredder.
I've heard a lot
Grounded in-
about
Yeah.
Neon White from people. I don't know nothing
Neon
about
White?
the game, but people
How
talk
many
a lot about it.
Tunic.
How many-
Was Death's Door this year?
You know what was this year?
Turtles.
Shredder's Revenge.
Shredder's Revenge.
I feel like Shredders could have a shot at it, but
Yeah.
Neon White does feel like that game that people will say should be in there just for the trendy pick, even though I know people really like the game, but I don't think it was reviewed that much. Like, I don't think it has does it have a ton of reviews behind it?
Yeah, some. I still think that. Yeah, I think Neon White has a lot of a lot of the critics have been pushing it real hard.
Oh, Vampire Survivors. That does have a shot.
I think
No.
Deathloop got a lot of 10 out of 10s. Not for
No.
me, but a lot of them.
Deathloop. Well,
Got a lot of
Deathloop was
Oh,
out.
wait, that was last year. That was last year.
Yeah, see that
Got
I'm
re-released,
telling you
yeah.
that Metacritic, man, they trick you up a little bit there.
Yeah,
I know what's going on here.
Xenoblade 3, I think will be, because they always get one Nintendo game.
I gotta be honest, I don't know if it's a slant. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, one of the highest rated games of the year.
feel like
Ton
they
of
always-
reviews on it. 121
snub.
reviews on this thing at 89. I don't know.
They always snub Xenoblade though.
I
feel
feel like it's gotta be in there though. That it's a
It
very
wasn't
good
nominated-
JRPG.
2 wasn't nominated for music or anything really though. So
I was a little
like,
surprised on the
I would be
music side of
surprised
it.
if
Yeah.
I'd be
Kirby?
surprised.
Forgotten Land. Everyone forget about that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
never
going
heard of it.
That's not gonna happen. Just the way that obviously like the reviewers and stuff are probably voting this thing. Okay, so right now a list that I have that's tentative: God of War, Ragnarok, Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. 2 slots are still open.
Did you say Shredders? I didn't hear you say Shredders.
I didn't say Shredders yet. I didn't say that.
That seems to
Let
be
me
a problem,
see.
John.
I'd like Plague Tale to be there, but I feel like there's already a lot of linear story games.
You know what? I actually wouldn't be surprised if Plague Tale ended up being the control of this year, where it gets announced and like half the audience is like, "What? Really? That one?" I wouldn't be shocked. What else do we
People
got
really
here?
like the game.
It was great. I still hate that Nate hasn't beaten.
No one's saying Bayonetta 3.
Uh,
Wow, no one's dropping
okay.
Bayo in there, huh?
What was the Metacritic on it?
87, same as Shredders.
Really?
Same as Shredders.
Huh.
Yeah, I know. Just Sean, you'd pick Shredders over that, wouldn't you?
I would.
I would pick
Wow.
Shredders over Bayonetta 3.
Interesting. Okay.
I liked
would-
Bayonetta 3, but I like Shredders more.
Yeah, same. I would put Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in the conversation, but I don't think
Yeah.
Bayonetta's in there.
Interesting. Okay. Not bad. No Bayonetta. Huh.
No.
Let's see. There is. When did that drop on PC?
I see a lot of people saying Cult of Lamb. I think that could be your indie game. A lot of people
Maybe.
seem to be high on that game.
that was a very popular release.
It was mostly from the social side of it, since it had
Yeah.
extreme levels of like Twitch integration and stuff.
Hmm.
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, Grounded's going to be in there.
No way. 0% chance.
Wait, write that down in the document. Max said
Didn't that go for-
0%
If-
chance at Grounded.
If Grounded is there, I'm buying your dinner, MVG.
Let's go.
I thought wasn't Grounded.
I picked the
an
restaurant.
ongoing game.
It's gonna be like
Right,
Wolfgang Pucks in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was an
Grounded
ongoing game.
Yeah,
Jordan.
Grounded's ongoing.
Ruth Chris's in Las Vegas.
Grounded came out like a year ago.
But haven't they had ongoing games be in the game of the year?
Yeah, like PUBG. Didn't
Yeah,
PUBG? get in?
PUBG. Yep.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
That's a weird
Overwatch?
stipulation that they're doing for that.
No, I think those had come out that year.
Yeah, it's
but
usually the
PUBG
1.0.
wasn't technically released yet. Like PUBG was still like early access during
I'm
that
so
time.
tired of
yeah,
those.
so it was Grounded.
It's not out yet, but it's out. You could play. It's not out.
Yeah, I hate
not
that
out,
fucking
though.
mentality.
It's like it's out. If I could play the game, it's out. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Well, it's like-
Thank you.
It's out.
I review games that are early access, and sometimes people get mad at me, and I'm like, if I could pay money for it, I'm allowed to give an opinion on it. Like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what, because there is Neon White. I'm looking at it. It's a 90 or an 88 on Switch. That's one of the highest rated games of the year, and it probably won't get picked. 2 slots.
At least Pokemon leaks are freaking wild.
Tunic did come out this year. Click your right.
There's Tunic, and then wasn't Death Store like early in the year? I feel like people were really like that game too.
I like
Wasn't
this.
that
I like
last
this store a
year?
lot.
Was that
store was
last
really
year, though?
good.
Was that this
Was
year?
it last year? I don't
I have to
remember.
look.
That was last year.
Okay.
Yeah, people did really like Death Store. I remember.
Yeah, listen, man, it's all blurring together at this point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this one out there. All right. It was
What do you got?
came out after the cutoff last year. All right.
No.
Same score
No,
as Shredder's Revenge.
No.
Shut up.
No.
Halo Infinite
No,
with an
no,
87 on Metacritic.
No.
No, get it out of here.
98 critic reviews, by the way. 87.
People
No.
do keep talking about it. It's mostly negative, but
Hey, it's still in the news.
It's not in there.
Last of Us Part 1 remake.
Don't.
No.
No.
I bought it. No.
I'm just saying, weirder things have happened at the Game Awards.
It's tough to guess which one of these indie games. There's actually a lot of good indie games this year. People mentioned that earlier in the show, and yeah, they're right. There are a lot of good indie games. I want to put Shredders in there just to appease Sean on this,
just
because
shut
it
the
is
hell
very
up.
good. And if we're wrong on it, then we can blame him because you keep pushing for it.
You keep pushing for shit.
Well, I think we have the top
Pushing,
4 right.
pushing.
I think we have God of War, Elden Ring, Horizon, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 correct. It's these last 2 that are tripping us up. Because I mean, the obvious answer is to say, hey, just throw Neon White in there. It's highly rated and all this, but I kind of think Shredder's Revenge does have that pull.
Yeah.
I just need someone to blame it on if it's not right. Gran Turismo 7 is a racing game. We know how that works.
Wait, so there's
the Gran Turismo 7 doesn't deserve to be on there.
there's 6 slots, right?
Yes.
Oh,
We have 4.
Sean's
okay.
saying that after playing 500 hours of the game, reorganizing his living room, buying a racing wheel.
This is the list.
Doesn't deserve
This
to
is the list. You heard it here first. Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, Plague Tale, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Grounded.
No,
You know what? I do like the Plague Tale call out because I think that could be one of those highly narrative driven experiences they throw in there.
I don't like Grounded, but I feel like it's going to get in there.
All right, here's what we do. Okay, here's what we do. Okay, so we'll put Plague Tale in there. We let the chat decide between the indie games, and we'll go with what they want.
I mean, I want Shredders, but Shredders is not going to be in there.
Let the people vote, unlike
Let
the video game
people
awards.
decide.
Power to the players.
How many options can I even do?
I think like 4 or 5.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. I can. Okay, so which ones we have? Neon White was one, right? That was one. Shredder's Revenge.
Tunic.
Grounded.
Oh, shut the hell up, Grounded.
That's a pretty amazing indie game.
Key Sniper 3.
Shredder.
the best trilogy.
I think Kirby will win Family Game of the Year. Everyone who's mentioning that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bunch of Nintendo games. Yeah. So I also want to throw this out there for the indie title we're trying to pick. Return to Monkey Island, 86.
Good pick.
Do you think people will go, you know what? It's Monkey Island. We got to throw it in there.
No.
No.
No way.
It's a good game, but no.
Cult of the Lamb. That was the other one I wanted to throw in there. Cult of the Lamb.
Cult of personality.
I think that I have everything.
Kill them all. Gonna kill them.
I love Guitar Hero.
I think that was all of them, right? And then Tunic was the other one, I think.
So we don't think Sifu at all? Because I keep seeing people say something.
Oh,
about
I
it.
do love seafood.
What about
Seafood? I love seafood.
You're going to be getting some from Max eventually, right?
I can't.
Grounded gets in.
I can't fit that one in there because I can only do 4 for the poll. Okay, so the poll is up. Everyone, we have like 5 minutes, and we'll put that in as the last slot. But as of now, we have God of War, Elden Ring, Horizon, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Plague Tale, and then whatever it gets picked here. And that will be our list, and we'll see how many we get right. I think we have the top 4 right, at least. It's the last 2 that are tough. That's gonna be an interesting day on the internet, by the way, when that happens, when that list gets released.
When Grounded's in there.
Grounded came out so long ago.
I'm telling you.
Should we be hearing the answer?
What? Oh, what? The noon Eastern Monday. Yeah, noon Eastern Monday. They'll put out a whole video, and then the website will go live, and they'll go from there. So we'll have a website we can go through with. They'll have a ton of different categories. We'll go through them next week, and we'll try to pick winners and all that good stuff. So, because you'll have action game, you'll have indie game, music, these different things. Wow, Shredder's Revenge is really leading like that, huh?
I mean, we just sat here talking about it a bunch, so yeah.
We poisoned the well. We biased him too much.
Just a bunch of turtles.
Yeah, I'm sure the Hollywood Reporter's all over that Shredder's Revenge. They're all over that.
Just like they're all over Grounded.
It's looking like our list.
They are all over.
For some reason, I thought you said just like they're all over Grinder, and I was like, I don't know what that means.
It's looking like our list is going to be God of War, Elden Ring, Horizon, Xenoblade, Plague Tale, Shredder's Revenge. That's not bad. That's not a bad game of the year list, I think. I think there's some fun games in there. And I've played all of them. So that's good. That's good. Kind of a valid opinion on them then. All right, very good.
Played none.
Oh, you're playing God of War right now.
Oh, I thought you meant the indie games were choosing.
Oh.
I played none.
I think
play Shredders. Shredders is good.
I'm good.
As a person who's beaten everything on the list pretty much, I think Elden Ring's going to take it.
That's what we got to also decide. I mean, what do you think the way this is going to go? I mean, we'll talk about it next week too when we get the official list.
I mean, you got to get inside the minds of the critics. I feel like the outlets that are going to be voting.
Man, people really liked Elden Ring earlier this year. That's the thing.
The mystery of Elden Ring, I think Elden Ring is much more replayable than God of War.
I agree with everything Max just said.
I got to beat God of War first, then I can. You know what? I'll be able to weigh in on this much better next weekend when I have finished God of War.
I can see the replayability, I guess, comment. I'm not really someone who replays games.
And that game always gets like those little waves of people being like, I went through a pixel and saw something, and now let's talk for a week and a half about DLC that might come out. And it's like,
yeah,
all right.
And you'll have played it by next weekend, I think, too, right? Click. You'll at least have a little bit of God of War in. So
yes,
yeah.
And if I don't, something very wrong happened. So hopefully not.
Let me go over here to the super test. Sean is going to be running an after show, right, Sean?
Yeah, I'll run it for a little bit.
Sean will be rolling an after show. So we'll be able to have some fun there. Let me go over here to this is from Juice Man Vaughn, who says, last time I felt like a kid playing a game was Breath of the Wild. I saw that sentiment a lot, actually, with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Beaver says, finding Forge games via LFG Xbox clubs is like the Wild West. Makes it feel like 3 or Reach again. Most fun I've had in ages. I would not chart on Forge. I played Forge a little bit with the where you can just search for different maps. I want to dive into it a bit more. I wouldn't mind trying it out just as a tool to make stuff, but I'm not a big game creator, level creator person. This is from Range, who says, hello, why are you guys so against cross-gen games? Isn't being cross-gen consumer friendly? Also, as Sony does much in terms of anti-consumer, and the PS4 and PS5 architecture is quite similar.
Did we speak out against cross-gen? Did we say we hate it?
Yeah, I'm over cross-gen.
I mean, I don't hate it, but I do think we have to draw a line in the sand and be like, okay, let's get some exclusive next gen games out now.
I think it's necessary. I think when it fits the generation, that's fine. But after a certain point, you do have to move on to the next phase. So
right. I mean, if they did another God of War game, we don't want another PS4 version, right? Like we want to be like, okay, now it's time for a true next gen.
Make that PS5 purchase worth it.
Yeah, because at the launch they showed all those videos of like, check out what it can do, and we're still not there yet. They showed that Spider-Man video with him swinging through the city at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. He's like, this is awesome, isn't it? You're not gonna get it because of cross-gen. Have fun.
Yeah. Well, it's also, I think God of War Ragnarok more than anything else is selling me on next gen only, because that game does look so good and it plays so good, and I can't help but in the back of my mind be like, man, if they hadn't built this on a PlayStation 4, how much better would it have been?
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Super says Sonic Frontiers has its share of problems, but still a lot of fun once you get going. And this is from Avedon Smith. Avedon, shout out to Avedon. No message, but shout out to Avedon. Pyro says, Max, horse Twitter video when?
I'm not sure.
Okay. That's
Hi, DM me. What the hell does that mean? Did I do something? What is horse Twitter? Are you calling me a Sony pony? Maybe we're ponies. I don't know.
Horses and ponies are very different.
Waffle says Twitter is a tool of the U.S. government to disseminate propaganda domestically and abroad. It's not going anywhere.
They can do that anywhere. They don't just need Twitter.
I don't know what you said.
Delt says, spent the entire day today playing Elden Ring with my friends on my Series X. Definitely my pick for Game of the Year. There you go. Indie Game says, try to send more money. YouTube won't let me. That sounds like YouTube.
Take my money.
Sanders says, this is from, Sean's not here. Thoughts on when OJ called pinatas racist. Sean's not here, though. Okay. We'll follow up with Sean in the after show, JP. Stick around. And Anthony says, when do you expect we get a new Steam Deck model? Probably 3 years from now. They got to get these things in stores as it is. Steve says,
hold on. Wait, I'm still confused. Do people really think that OJ called pinatas racist? Is that an actual thing?
I mean,
like a shallow representation of culture.
He said it. We're not sure if it was an OJ meme, and I'm guessing chat doesn't think it was an OJ.
Wait,
meme.
I'm still confused because like it's a shallow representation of culture, but he didn't call it racist. He just said it was shallow. Whatever. I don't know. Okay.
This is from Steve saying, anybody play the winter update for Halo Infinite? Yes.
Yes.
It's still fun.
We have been playing it. It's pretty fun.
Still fun.
No.
Then Shinner says, welcome back, Miss Click and Dreamcast guy. We were going to play Halo. Click, you can jump in with us. During the after show.
Run away.
We were actually going to try the campaign co-op.
Did you pick your Splatfest starter or no?
I'm doing
Splatoon
the
3?
blue, whatever the hell.
That's still a thing.
The Pokemon Splatfest is
going on right now. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck here real quick. The last time I played Splatoon 3 was when we played on your stream.
Sorry.
And that was also the only time I played Splatoon.
Sorry.
This Shinru says, any game non-RPG that should get HD2D treated, Super Metroid or Zelda Link to the Past, for example. I wouldn't mind seeing with like a isometric style action game, but the thing is, I think with the RPG, it's it's a bit more controlled in things like battle, for example. So I would like to see the art style used outside of it. I don't know how likely it is, but apparently the HD2D costs, as they said, a lot more than people realize to make.
Oh
so,
yeah, dude. Look at those effects that they use in those games. They paid a lot of money for
the
it.
more variables I assume you throw into it, the more expensive it gets. So yeah. It'd be cool though. I would like to see it. Ryan says your Pokemon can run, climb, glide, and swim, and people are still mad it can't drive. Is that the petition right there we need? That the boycott?
No,
It can't
that's not
drive?
it at all. Why
Aren't
put
they
wheels
motorcycles?
on it? Why
The
does
Pokemon
it
can't
have
drive.
wheels if it's just gonna use legs?
I know that was there it is. Get the
That's just one of them.
change.org.
They want you to
looks
look like you're
dumb.
riding around on a balloon animal. Like,
It looks dumb. It looks like a freaking lizard that's had its thing pulled out and it's stretched out.
That's
and won't go
exactly
back.
what it is.
It looks dumb, bro. It's not what lizards
But
look
that's
like.
exactly what it is. Do Pokemon look like real life?
Kinda like
Some
lanterns
are.
and
The-
refrigerators.
the bag of trash
Pokemon in real
does.
life would be terrifying. You imagine running into Gyarados at like the lake or something.
It's dumb, bro. Violet. It actually uses the wheels.
Wait, are you calling a franchise that has ice cream as a 3-stage evolution Pokemon dumb? What? That's
Emblem.
ridiculous.
Emblem says Ash finally became a Pokemon master. Let's go. Maybe he'll start.
Yay.
I like
Just
how
start-
it's like the biggest spoiler for it, and no
And they
one
just
cares.
tweeted-
Twitter, everyone's talking about
They
it.
tweeted it,
Pokemon's
yeah.
celebrating it.
You realize
It's
that's
so
been
weird.
going along in our life this entire for like 20 some odd years, right?
yeah, how old is he right now,
Ash,
technically?
maybe
Still
you know
young.
what? Maybe that's the big twist. Maybe he's been cursed this whole time, and now he'll age normally.
Well,
Or
someone
age all at once and just
yeah, that's it.
disintegrate.
Someone made a meme where he like does it and he's like,
Time jumps.
God damn.
he instantly becomes our age.
Wow.
Ticho says, started the new Nate the Hate episode. I get his point, but I believe boycotts do work if they are done en masse, i.e. if almost nobody buys COD. Hey, people tried to wipe out Battlefield. It's still there somehow. So
Barely.
Okay.
Johnny got
Omar?
a rather large domain.
no message from Omar here. L Grudge says, Jordan, question, why are the Pokemon pre-order bonus stuff crap in the US? Did NOA forget that the yearly Pokemon game is coming out this year?
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on, and there's also like some last second changes to pre-order stuff, because a lot of the pre-order stuff this year was like you get a couple berries in the game or stuff like that. It was really kind of lackluster, we'll put it lightly. But for like my example, like there was the Steelbook version in the UK available for like this game, but as well as the last one was Sword and Shield. But when I went to the Nintendo World Store in New York City, at the launch there, they had the version with the Steelbook just there without advertising it, which was pretty cool. But so if you live in New York, maybe try that for that. But just in general, Target last second just added the UK exclusive little figure statue that has the 3 starters on it.
Oh.
Out of nowhere, last second, just printed on their weekly ad. It sucks because I would love to pre-order through them to get that figure. But if you're looking for something better than just a couple berries or some Pokeballs, if you get the dual pack at Target, there is the figure, and that's all that's been added recently. So yeah, they do kind of they've been lackluster here, honestly.
Edwin says, I will Dead Island 2 into existence through a super chat. Can we get a little devil inside, please? Spyro says Mario Strikers should win most disappointing game of the year. I don't think they've done anything with that in terms of the infrastructure, like updates for multiplayer, unfortunately. So I don't think it's happening. Unfortunate. Celtiverse says Triangle Strategy I think is worthy regardless of Metascore. Hey, there's going to be an RPG section as well. So I think a lot of these games that may get left out of the game of the year in terms of like a Triangle Strategy will just end up in there. But that'll be a good one too to try to pick between some of them. Steven says thoughts on Project Perceiver. That's Sekiro and Ghost. I saw this pop up. I need to look into this a little more. There's like a trailer for it, and it looks interesting. As they said, it looks like Sekiro mixed with Ghost of Tsushima. Jeff, no message here from Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Then John, with a very generous donation here through Super Chat, says, missed you all for a while and happy to see Click Back. It says, what Quest VR games would you recommend? Any fitness or other apps that make it worthwhile beyond gaming? Thank you to all veterans for your service and sacrifice. Once again, shout out to John.
Thanks, John.
Good job, Sean.
Sorry.
What Quest VR games would you recommend? Any fitness or, I mean, Quest VR, I went back and I was playing more of the Resident Evil 4. Really good experience. And Beat Saber's still fun too. That actually came with my Quest VR, and I had the other day I was like, let me try this thing out. And it's pretty fun, but Resident Evil 4 definitely worth it.
Didn't Among Us VR just come out?
Yeah, like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So wait,
Resident Evil
San
4.
Andreas.
Yeah, dude. After doing Resident Evil 4 again, going back to, I'm like, man, San Andreas will be kind of cool because it's interesting. Resident Evil 4 works in VR way better than it should have any right to be. So awesome one there. But for fitness or other apps to make it worthwhile beyond gaming, I mean, with gaming, I just like DDR is great for fitness, but beyond any fitness or other apps. Oh, I would say any of the step counter games are great. So like Pokemon Go is good in the sense that you hatch eggs by walking, but even the Pikmin game, people make fun of that. You just walk around and you get stuff for steps, and people don't realize, but steps can really help when it comes to losing weight and getting in shape.
It's rewarding you for stuff you're already kind of doing. So,
and you might go out and be like, I'll get these steps in because I want to get these different things for Pikmin and all this. So like that's just another way to go about it, and it's on your phone, so you'll always have it. But steps are very important. If you get enough steps in and you manage your diet a bit differently, you'd be surprised how much walking can actually knock down your weight or get you into certain fitness goals and shape. So that would be my recommendation. Once again, shout out to John O. Shout out. Evan, you said we had Discord questions left.
Yeah, still a couple left. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go through these Discord questions. We'll do the outros, and we're gonna go to Sean's after show that he has set up. So it'll be good. It'll be fun. Okay.
If you've played Pokemon games, what's your favorite song across the whole genre?
Song? Interesting.
Still the original Pokemon League. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
I don't know.
Really?
Lavender Town is the most iconic.
Oh, Lavender is good.
I really like the stadium, the gym theme in Sword and Shield.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. It's very
bopping.
the very upbeat one. Yeah. The Lavender is good though. That did have that sense. There wasn't a lot there going on, but it did have that creepy feel to it for being a Game Boy tune. That was good.
All right. Scott the Waz's latest videos has almost 2 hours, and the rest of YouTube is going for 2 minutes. What should be the length of a video these days?
Whatever
it
you
needs
want
to be.
Well,
Whatever you need it to be.
Yeah.
As long as it's interesting for the entire video, I don't care. I watched a 3.5 video about Dino Crisis, and it was great for the whole 3.5 hours.
What? Oh.
Also, do YouTube Shorts.
YouTube Shorts are actually fun.
Yeah,
They're fun to make.
Wait, okay,
Fucking
question.
hate them.
Because they weren't given. I know this is completely irrelevant. Are you just putting on your main channel now?
Yeah, they split them up.
It's
They're in this different section now.
3 different algorithms now, so you're fine.
Ugh.
They're fun. They're really making a big push for next year for it. So I think it's good to get some experience with it and figure out what you can fit into 60 seconds basically. But there's a lot of topics that actually open up for that. So
Welcome back to Shortwave. I like that one.
Kind of
That's a good
fun.
name.
welcome to Shortwave.
What do you think is a bigger threat to your wallet? A high quality $70 game or a high quality free to play game?
High quality free to play game.
Free to play game for
a
sure.
lot of $70 games are taking in the free to play models. So I mean, maybe.
What's more of a threat to my wallet? The $70 game, because I'm spending money on it.
I think
spend it
money on a
once,
free-to-play
and that's
game.
it.
I think a game with a good
I'm not someone
subscription.
who spends a lot of money on free to play games.
No, but
But
for most people, like if it hooks them and they're like, I've been playing this for a while, I will buy that $100 armor set. That happens. a lot.
my wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question.
I think a good MMO
Sean,
is the
You can't
biggest
get-
threat to me.
Open up the Series S that you bought forever ago.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's upstairs.
So it's Christmas.
Coming.
Go ahead, Evan.
Do you think games leaking like God of War and Pokemon are going to further incentivize companies to adding DRM or some form of protection to their physical copies or discs?
They're just going to eliminate the physical copies. We talk about Call of Duty is a 70 megabyte launcher.
And my version of God of War didn't even come with a disc.
You know what's interesting is Corey Barlog did say
He literally said,
that makes a lot of sense right now. That God of War leaked, but I wouldn't care if it was a 70 megabyte launcher that I controlled from here.
yeah,
So,
he literally said, I kind of wish it was digital right now. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. I think the physical releases are coming to a close. Last generation of it. I'm telling you, we will not see
That's why we
physical
can't have
media
nice things.
for the PS6 and the Xbox Series XX. It's not happening.
And last one's for MVG. Someone just applied for a game design degree. He's waiting to hear back with an acceptance letter and whatnot. And he's wondering what he should focus on to brush up on things before it potentially begins in September of next year.
I am not a game designer, so I can't really give you some good info. But I would just say, whatever path that you feel is the best one for you, I would follow that path. But if you want to get good game design stuff, there is a lot of really good resources on YouTube. There's also some really good people on Twitter that can definitely help you on your journey there. And best of luck to you as well.
Streamlabs, Adam says, out of the Callisto Protocol versus Dead Space remake, which game is the Spawncast looking forward to the most? I'm going to say Dead Space because it's a known for me right now, whereas I don't really know what to expect from Callisto. Overall, I know what I'm getting with Dead Space for the most part, so...
I'm Team Callisto. I want something new.
Callisto. I want something new as well. I love Dead Space.
It's a lot. There's a lot of new in it.
Oh, there is, but I mean, Callisto is a whole literal new universe. I'm so curious about it.
Yeah, but Dead Space. So
true, fair.
Sabbath says John Wick versus Sam Fisher. Who would win?
John Wick.
I'm gonna say John Wick probably.
John Wick doesn't lose. That's the thing.
You
killed him with that fucking pencil.
This is Mr. Stud Muffin says, "Hey RGT, check your cameo. I got a great request for you. Perfect for the after show."
Yeah, I saw. We will do it live on the after show, actually.
Okay.
Mr. Stud Muffin is a bad influence on everybody.
let me go around here. It's good to have Click back.
Yeah.
Click. Where can everyone find you? What are the plans?
Well, when shit's working, you'll be able to find me on Twitch. Hopefully this coming week, playing both Bayonetta 3 and God of War Ragnarok, and then obviously catching up with everybody else on life. You can find me there on Twitch at twitch.tv/misclick_live. And then everything else, I mean, you can still find me on Twitter, but I don't know what's that worth. I don't know what everybody's opinion is on Twitter, but I'll be there. I don't really care. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh no, Twitter, everyone will just complain about it on Twitter. That's how it'll work.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Let me go over to Max, Dreamcast guy.
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. Got some good stuff coming up. Of course, obviously, the next big review is probably going to be Callisto Protocol and Need for Speed Unbound. So go subscribe to me and go enter my God of War Ragnarok Jotnar special edition giveaway.
Ready for Need for Speed. Ready for that.
I'm so ready, man.
Gonna play that over Callisto.
Damn.
Let me go to MVG. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and YouTube Modern Vintage Game. I have a video coming out on Monday. Nate and I did not do an episode last week. I'm sure we'll come up with something next week. So check out the channel. That's it.
Okay. We got Jordan holding the hammer up there.
Yep. Thanks for having me. Find me on my channels, Jordan Fringe and Jordan Fringe Gaming. The main channel is 3,000 subs away from 400,000 subscribers.
Ooh,
so
damn,
thank you guys so much.
Look at you.
I appreciate the support. I have a bunch of content coming out every week now. So yeah, and I'm doing Fringe Miss again this year, which means there's 25 videos in December coming.
Jesus.
Wow.
Again?
Again? Who hasn't been
Jordan.
sleeping? This guy.
And let me go over
to Thornton.
Evan, where can everyone find you?
Find me on Twitter, Kimbricks Project. If I'm streaming or anything's about to happen or I'm posting work that I'm doing, they'll usually go there.
Okay. And Sean, you can close us out. I just want to once again give a shout out to John and everyone else who stopped by tonight, the super chats and all the general support on the stream. Thanks everyone for stopping in. Sean, we're going to continue in the after show, but you want to let everyone know where they can find you and where they can find that.
I put the link in the description or in the chat, so we should be good. Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Oh, you can find me on RGT85 on all forms of the internet, including on Cameo.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks everyone for joining us. We will see you next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. Pokemon, Game Awards stuff. It'll be all over the place. So should have fun. We'll see you guys then.
Speak for authority.
I'm
Question
gonna
yourself.
kill them all. I'm gonna kill them.